What was initially just another stop on the Grand National Tour turned into an extraordinary event at Stadio Olimpico in Rome, Italy, marking a significant cultural moment. The excitement in the city was palpable long before the first note was played, and even before Kendrick Lamar took the stage, the Roman audience had already made history. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your take on the story. Today, the same ground would tremble under a different kind of gathering, tens of thousands of music fans converging at Circus Maximus, eager to witness a modern spectacle, Kendrick Lamar's Grand National Tour in the Eternal City. From the moment the gates opened, the atmosphere was electric, an energy as timeless as Rome itself, now reignited by a new communal celebration. By late afternoon, the area in front of the stage transformed into a colorful display of T-shirts and homemade signs featuring the names Kendrick and SZA. Street vendors weaved through the crowd, selling FlARES, scarves, pizza slices, and plastic horn flutes. The scent of espresso mingled with the faint metallic smell of adrenaline. Occasionally, a wave of excitement swept through the audience, growing in intensity until it engulfed the entire arena. Then it happened. Without any warning lights or opening acts, just pure anticipation, the crowd began to do the wave. Hands rose together, moving from side to side, faster and higher with each cycle. As the final wave returned to its starting point, the crowd erupted into a unified chant. Kendrick! 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 The name echoed off the ancient walls, as if the spirits of gladiators and emperors were cheering along. For Kendrick, waiting backstage, this moment was a validation of all the months of preparation, the miles traveled, and the countless venues. Rome was ready. He stepped onto the stage, his silhouette illuminated by swirling clouds of dry ice. The roar of the crowd was deafening. He opened the show with Squabble Up, where the bold horns and powerful drums sounded like a Roman battle horn. The audience sang along with him, their voices creating a vibrant rhythm. Phones lit up the night like stars, each screen mirroring the shared experience. Hearing an entire ancient city shout Kendrick's lyrics back at him felt like a time warp, history and modernity colliding in a joyful explosion. Between songs, Kendrick took a moment to soak in the atmosphere. To his right, someone had set off a flare that burst into a towering orange flame, with smoke rising into the sky. It was visible even from behind the stage, serving as a timeless signal. Soon after, another flare ignited near the central tower, followed by a third. While they weren't loud enough to be dangerous, their presence was unmistakable, a more powerful tribute than any banner or poster. How they got past security was a mystery, but in that moment it didn't matter. The crowd was showing their loyalty through smoke and light. As the flares lit up the scene, Kendrick transitioned into euphoria. The bass line throbbed like a heartbeat, building tension as he delivered his verses with ritualistic precision. The smoke from the flares curled around his feet, creating an almost mythical image. He moved across the stage, as if he were conducting an orchestra of youthful dreams and lifelong beliefs. The audience's response was a cathartic release. Every eye closed, every hand raised, every voice resonating with the word euphoria, until it felt like a breath. But Kendrick wasn't done yet. He then jumped into Family Ties, featuring Baby Keem. The sudden shift in tempo and the lively chorus sparked another wave of excitement. Fans pressed closer to the barricade, chanting every line. "I like Drake with the melodies," Kendrick rapped. "I don't like Drake when he act tough." For a brief moment, the band went silent, leaving only the crowd's roar before he finished his thought. The chant that followed was a mix of defiance and celebration. In that moment, Rome, a city shaped by centuries, transformed into a family, united by rhythm and rebellion. He paused again to speak directly to the crowd. "This one's for Rome," he declared, his voice echoing like a gospel bell. The audience responded not with cheers, but with a familiar soccer chant. "Ole, ole, ole." Their timing was perfect, 3 rounds of the chant building to a peak that resonated beyond the stadium. In Rome, soccer and hip-hop share the same language, a communal heartbeat. With arms raised high in every color of the stadium, Kendrick began performing Beat Kimby. The heavy, rolling beat radiated confidence. When the chorus came in, thousands of voices echoed the acronym together, each syllable resonating through the crowd like a unified chant. Looking up from the stage, the entire plaza seemed to vibrate as one, moving in a collective celebration. As the night went on, he explored deeper narrative songs. The storytelling in Duckworth, the reflection in Sing About Me, and the uplifting spirit of Alright, each created their own unique atmosphere, seamlessly transitioning into one another until the line between performer and audience completely blurred. If Squabble Up was the rallying cry, Alright became the blessing, a promise that in the journey of life, triumph is shared. Occasionally, he would approach the edge of the stage, reaching out to the crowd. Phones brushed against his fingers, fans called out his name, and in that brief moment where human connection met technology, the divide between star and audience vanished. He smiled, appreciating the importance of the moment. This was a collective experience, not merely a show. Meanwhile, SZA waited backstage for her turn. As Kendrick wrapped up DNA, with its powerful climax, the lights shifted, and the introduction to Kiss Me More enveloped the audience like a refreshing breeze. SZA emerged on stage in a flowing red silk dress that sparkled in the light. The transition from Kendrick's intense energy to her smooth rhythm was seamless, as if the entire evening had been crafted to harmonize both styles. During her performance, flares kept igniting, each one embraced rather than dampened. Security appeared reluctant to intervene, showing a silent respect for the shared experience. SZA seized this moment, encouraging the crowd to sway through the smoke, creating an atmosphere akin to a lively Renaissance painting filled with vibrant colors and contrasts. When she reunited with Kendrick for All the Stars, they stood side by side, their voices blending into a powerful sound that eclipsed the flares. The audience's phones illuminated like fireflies, and SZA gracefully raised her arms. As Kendrick began his verse, the stadium erupted once again. It was a perfect blend of melody and rhythm, soul and style. Then, with Gloria, the mood shifted. The lights dimmed, the pace slowed, and the crowd felt a deeper connection. Intimate moments emerged. Tears were shed, memories were stirred, and the stage transformed into a confessional space. There were no flares this time, just the raw flicker of emotion reflected in countless uplifted faces. The final surge came with Not Like Us. By then, the audience was primed. When the opening chords rang out, it felt as though they had been waiting for that one powerful sound their entire lives. Bodies collided in mosh pits, arms shot up, and the stadium shook with the collective roar. If Family Ties had been the anthem of family, this was the battle cry. United, defiant, and unstoppable. Rome had poured its heart into the experience, flares, chants, waves, and tears. As the last note faded, the audience refused to let the moment fade away. Kendrick, SZA, Kendrick, SZA, echoed through the night, a final chant that resonated off the walls like a prayer. The lights came back on, but the energy remained. Fans lingered, singing snippets of songs, holding on to the aftershocks. Outside, street musicians picked up the chorus of DNA. Buskers played Kendrick songs on violins and guitars, and journalists rushed to capture the magic. In cafes and on balconies, conversations centered not on traffic or restaurants, but on the show, on the flares that symbolized devotion, the soccer chants that bridged cultures, and Kendrick and SZA's remarkable ability to enchant a city that once seemed too old for new legends. That night in Rome was more than just a concert. It was a fusion of history and modernity, culture and community, passion and courage. With 5 performances left on the Grand National Tour, Rome would forever be remembered as the night when an ancient city came alive with energy, honored its heroes, and felt the promise of the future in every raised lighter. For Kendrick and SZA, it highlighted that the true essence of a performance isn't found in the venue, but in the hearts of those who gather to listen, sing, and be part of something everlasting. This embodies the true spirit of the tour, and in Rome, it resonated more strongly than ever. For Kendrick Lamar, with only 2 shows remaining, the bar had been raised even higher. Rome didn't just participate, it left a lasting impact. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.